305 Fights, where champions rise.
With the Champions Rise 305, donde son los campeones. We are here with the ambassador of MMA, Sipo, Sensei, Master Roger Krahl. How are you,
Good
sir?
to see you, man.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.
And here at MMA Science, man, so much to talk about you because you always beating me to the punch. I'm always talking about martial arts and sciences.
Right.
And it's called MMA Science.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know.
Let me ask you a question. How did you come about that name? Because for me, it was really important to talk about the science.
Absolutely. You know, people, martial arts, as we know as lifetime martial arts, is way more than just the physical. You know, it's the concepts, it's the principles that guys like Bruce Lee, like Ed Parker, way back in the early days, were talking about way ahead of time. So actually, one of my boxing coaches, Dr. Paulie Gloves, Paul Gavoni, is a behavioral scientist. It's one of our partners with the MMA Science curriculum. And this guy, really kind of brought to life not just the physical training that we do, but also the behavioral science that goes into training, like, why we do the things we do. The reason we order techniques the way we do, everything is a system, So boxing being called the sweet science, we're like, well, boxing's the sweet science. MMA's got to be the sweetest science of all, you know what I mean? So hence MMA Science, that's where it came from.
I just walked in, you're in the cage, and you were working with a young lady.
Yes, sir.
And you were actually working. Another thing, a second thing that I love on footwork is stepping.
Yeah.
And which foot to step on, which direction, how to step off the line.
Right. And these things have progressed so much, in the last 5 years, 10 years alone. When you look at the current champions in UFC, Sugar Sean O'Malley's getting ready to fight next week. In the beginning, I really honestly wasn't a fan of this colored hair kid. I'm like, who is this kid? Kid is freaking good, man. But then when he's got amazing coaching. But when you look at what he actually does in the cage, like that slip draw that we were doing right there with a young lady who actually also fights in UFC, a lot of this modern day footwork you see, they used to tell us as traditional martial artists, that's never going to work in UFC. 20 years ago, they told, you can't throw side kicks and spinning hook kicks. Now we see hook kicks knocking people out. You know what I mean? So Don't tell me something can't work. If you follow the principles and the science, it can all work.
Correct. Well, you're saying that real important word, the principles,
Yes.
And even, you might say Ed Parker, Campo, man. I remember a long time ago buying the Encyclopedia of Campo by Ed Parker.
Yep. I had it in my office.
And he breaks it down scientifically.
Yep, that's it.
Because it is the body movement.
It's movement. It's mechanics. It's science. It is actual science.
What's the name of the girl, the UFC girl?
Talita Alankar. Look for her. She's a 6-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. She's now in the UFC.
Talita Alankar. Because shout out to her.
She's a beast, man.
Also, look up MMA Science and Instagram, Facebook, and all your social platforms. Do not contact 355.tv. We'll get you the information. Also, wanted to congratulate you on the USA team.
Yes, man.
Man,
yes,
you guys are doing a lot with that.
Man. Aside from now, my coaching my UFC fighters and pros traveling, now I'm around the world with these kids. Team USA, we just got back from the World Championships in Abu Dhabi. We took third overall as a team with only 50 competitors. Ukraine and Uzbekistan placed gold and silver ahead of us, but they also had double and triple the competitors we have. So in USA, guys, we had to do our own fundraising. We had to do fundraisers. We had to raise the money, get sponsors. These other teams are sponsored by their government. So think about that for a minute, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I try not to get into politics and religion. You guys that know me know what I believe. But I will say this. Ukraine was funded by their government. Now, I'm thinking which government gave Ukraine a whole bunch of money recently? That was ours. Hey, it's all martial arts. It's all love. But I had the head coach of Ukraine tell me at the event, thank you for being our ally. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if we would have had 150 competitors, we would have kicked your ass. But I shook his hand.
No, 100%.
It's all love, man.
No, but I agree 100%. We should back ourselves.
We should back ourselves. We should back our kids, man. Yeah. We are, especially our youth.
Okay. Where can we sponsor, promote the team?
TeamUSAKids.org. TeamUSAKids.org.
Good. And we're gonna put a link. I'm always talking about that. I don't know if that happens a lot.
It's our future, man.
Yeah.
These kids are our future.
Excellent. And you know what? I'm hoping, and I know you've been working on this a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that to see MMA in the Olympics.
Me too. Well, that's the plan. We just missed it. We just missed the Summer Olympics in Paris by this much.
Because I think it's going to just change the whole game
It
around.
will, and now we have the support of the region of, you know, the Middle East and United Arab Emirates, and their national sports the last 4 years is jiu-jitsu. Well, now they've added MMA to that base.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're contracted to host the World Championships for 3 more years. And when I tell you, the nicest amateur event, and this last year I went to all of them. ISK Worlds in Munich, we went to Thailand, we went all over the world for the biggest youth tournaments in the world. In Abu Dhabi, they have it down, man. The kids fought in the same arena as UFC that Saturday night. They had the UFC octagon in the middle. They set up 4 more. There was 5 UFC-sized octagons with lighting rigs, full production. It was amazing. But we just need to get our full Team USA support. That's it.
Unity is power. You know, it takes a team to make the dream.
Man, yes, sir.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Always
Always.
to the
Yes,
ambassador
yes,
of MMA.
yes.
Roger Krahl, MMA Science 305, otro fights, donde suben los campeones.
Let's go.
305 Fights, where champions rise.